Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot. This reading is for Sunday, December 17th. And if you are new here, I use astrology and tarot. And if you're someone who is a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. I'm doing a reading tonight because I felt like it, and because we have some interesting aspects in the sky. The most important, well, the biggest one, I guess, is the sun right now is at 24 degrees of Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, and it is squaring exactly Neptune, which is in Pisces, a water sign, which it rules, at 24 degrees. So if you know your birth chart, if you have any aspects between the sun and Neptune, this may be a particularly interesting and or difficult time for you, because the sun in Sagittarius likes to move ahead. It's a sign that is very free-spirited and very open, and sometimes sticks its foot in its mouth when it's speaking. And I can say that because I have a ton of Sagittarius energy, and I do that all the time. And then I say to myself, why did I say that? So I feel like it's okay for me to, I'm not criticizing, I'm just pointing out the truth here. The Sagittarius energy is very forward-looking, and it wants to go. It's a fire sign and wants to move. And it's squaring, and remember, a square is like, you know, knocking your shin against a table that's in the middle of the room every time you want to walk across the room. It's knocking into Neptune. And Neptune is your imagination. It's the collective unconscious. It's a very, very sensitive energy. It's the last water sign. And it's, you know, people who have a lot of Pisces energy or a lot of Neptune aspects in their charts are extremely sensitive. They can also be very intuitive and imaginative, possibly artistic, but their feelings can be hurt very easily. And so the Sagittarius energy is like, yeah, let's go, you know, let's do it. It's all about action and travel and freedom and adventure. And Pisces is like, wait a minute, you know, we have to watch out for everybody, and don't leave this person behind, and I'm sensitive, and you're moving too fast. And then we also have an aspect, a very positive one, between Mercury, which is our thinking, our thoughts, our communication, which is in Capricorn at 7 degrees, and it's trining, which is a positive aspect, 120 degrees. Jupiter, who rules Sagittarius, where the sun is, Jupiter, which is expansion and optimism and faith and luck. Jupiter's in Taurus, which is an earth sign. So that's great. We have Mercury in an earth sign trining Jupiter in an earth sign. That's why they're trined, because they're 120 degrees apart. And so we have some ability here to ground our thinking and manifest some things that we're thinking. But again, with that imagination knocking up against, you know, squaring the sun, is kind of a push-pull energy where, you know, your thinking you might be able to think clearly and have some good luck in your ideas, but your expressing yourself and moving ahead might feel a little blocked. So that's the basis I'm starting from right now. And I pulled some cards and I looked at them, then I get confused, so I had to stop thinking about them, because that's not the way it works for me. So I'm just going to jump in. And it's interesting because these are the Liz Green Mythic Tarot cards. And I have the Queen of Cups. Okay, here's Neptune. Here's Neptunian energy, Piscean energy. She's all about feeling. Her eyes are closed. She's completely 100% in her emotions. Her feet are not on the ground. They're in the water. She's all about feeling. And then who flanks her on the other end? The Queen of Wands. Here's Sagittarius energy, or any fire sign. It could be Aries or Leo, but since the sun is in Sagittarius right now, I'm saying here's our dilemma. We've got the Queen of Wands on one side, And she's, you know, fire, let's go, strength. And then we have the Queen of Cups on the other side, and she's like, no, close your eyes and imagine. And, you know, I am one with the universe. I'm one with everyone. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. But they're not exactly that compatible, although they do have their similarities. They're both very forward-thinking. No, I wouldn't say Pisces is forward-thinking. What do I mean? They both care deeply. Although sometimes Sagittarius can be a little self-centered and care more about itself. Pisces is like, let's care about everybody. Okay, so what do we do with these two opposing energies? How do we navigate between the two? We have the Six of Pentacles. This could be that Jupiter and Taurus energy. There's a bull. Pentacles are earth. And this is about giving and receiving. And it's also about, you know, my throat was not bothering me at all until I decided to post. And I'm not comparing myself to Gemma at Gemstone Tarot, but you notice every time she does a reading, she gets the sniffles. I'm not saying I'm as good as she is, but I'm not having a similar issue. Anyway, I think this is Jupiter. He kind of looks like Zeus. You know, he's like handing out the goods. This looks like Jupiter and Taurus. So this is that good energy that we are able to access with our minds, with our ideas coming from Jupiter. This is a great time for giving and receiving, and it's also a great time for your mind to be open to new possibilities. Okay, and then we get the Ace of Cups, which is also a very generous card. This is a new emotion. And let me see, how does Liz Green, see, these are her cards. Let me see how she puts her Ace of Cups. This is Psyche. It can be overwhelming energy, but it's the potential for the beginning of a relationship. Okay, that's interesting because the overall energy card that I drew is the Lovers. And I said to myself, okay, is this about romance for someone? Or is this us navigating between the sun on one hand in Sagittarius, wanting to move ahead, and Neptune in Pisces, wanting to go with the flow and, you know, we're all one and just, you know, stay in your imagination, don't do anything. You know, what's that old saying? You know, don't do anything, just sit there. That's what Neptune in Pisces wants to do. It just wants to dream. So you kind of have to make a choice. Are you going to move or are you going to stay? But this could be about romance for some of you too, because of the Ace of Cups here. And of course the Lovers could be the Lovers. Okay, so then beneath the Queen of Cups, I have some more fire energy. We have the Eight of Wands, which is movement. This is moving ahead, and it can also be communication. And this could be that Mercury, even though it's in Capricorn, it's communicating with Jupiter and Taurus. So there could be some good communication going on right now. And of course, we're nearing here in the U.S. I don't know, you know, if it's a holiday season. I'm horribly ignorant of other religions and other cultures as far as their, you know, like I don't know when Hanukkah is. That's terrible. I should. And I mean, a lot of people celebrate Christmas who are not Christians. So it's just kind of a thing over here. We just do. So, but this is incoming messages, and this could be you sending information out too, and you moving ahead with your thoughts. So either a message is coming in or you're sending a lot of messages out, which of course at this time of year we do. And I'm going to skip over this next card just to move to the page once because I think it's interesting. Here comes the Sagittarius energy that wants to just move ahead. Let's see, where's Mars right now? Gosh, I can't remember. Think. Mars is sextiling Venus. Venus is in Scorpio. So I think Mars is in, or is it a semi-sextile? I think Mars is in Sagittarius also. Sorry, I didn't look that up. Anyway, it's interesting because here's the two fire cards, okay? They're if you notice, they're going to hit head on. So, what's in the middle? What's stopping them? What's keeping them from colliding? the Seven of Cups. This is Neptune and Pisces. This is our dream energy. This is the fantasy card. So, actually right now, it's not a bad idea to, again, there could be a bit of a conflict where you feel like moving ahead, but since these cards look like they're about ready to crash into each other, and this is in the middle, I'm not sure if this is telling us to, you know, slow down and make sure that you're actually dreaming about and choosing and fantasizing about what you really want rather than just dashing out to get it, or if this is telling me that too much imagination is standing in the way. I'll try to clarify this, because with the choice, with the Lovers here, which is also called the choice, it may be asking us to choose, and this Seven of Cups could be saying, you know, slow down, because some of your choices might be just like pie in the sky fantasy. So, but we end up with the King of Pentacles, which is great because this is more grounding energy. This is Jupiter and Taurus again, giving us some good earth energy. So we end up with our, we've got two feminine cards at the top, two queens, the water and the fire. So we've got the sun in Sag over here and Mercury, or Neptune in Pisces. And we're going to navigate that by being open, by giving and receiving energy. We're going to let this flow through us, and we're going to receive emotional gifts and be emotionally sensitive to those around us. And we're also going to, some information is going to come in, and it could be quite sudden. We're not going to panic about it. We're going to sort of let it float for a while before we decide what to do. And we're going to know that we need to stay grounded, and that we have some grounding energy right here, that ultimately we are in control. We're not in control of everything. I don't mean that. But you are in control of your actions. And that's what this is reminding us. So I think the takeaway here for me, and I will clarify with some oracle cards, but I think the takeaway for me here is that you may feel some very conflicting energy between emotion and action and desire. Your desires might be very strong at this time. And you might feel a little confused about just exactly what you do want. And don't get caught up in fantasy thinking. And again, I feel like, at first I thought maybe this is helping us, this Seven of Cups, but no, I'm feeling like with that Neptune and Pisces, that's so powerful. Don't get caught up in too much fantasy thinking, and yet don't rush ahead. But I do feel that there's some information that's going to come in very quickly that you're going to need to deal with, and perhaps it's going to force you to make a choice, and you're going to feel like the choice is between emotion and action, but it really isn't. If you sit with it, you can have both. You can both give and receive. You can be watery and grounded at the same time. Let me pull some oracle cards and see if we can clarify. Again, there's, you know, it's a balancing act that we're doing right now with the sun and Neptune. And so how do we balance here? Interesting. We get the, what I think of as the Pluto/Scorpio card of regeneration. And again, remember the last reading I did, we had the ending of an old cycle and the beginning of a new, and that's exactly what this is. And Pluto is still at 28 degrees of Capricorn, because I just looked, because it's sitting right on my sun. And then I think in a week or so it moves to 29 degrees, which is not great for me either. But I just can't wait for Pluto to move into Aquarius, honestly. I know that's going to bring its own issues, but it will be so nice for me. So anyway, I believe that this end of the cycle and the beginning of the new is not only the new year with the solstice coming, but I believe it's Pluto moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius, which I did not look up to see when it happens, but it's sometime in January. Okay, let's draw another I should run the bottom one, kind of wanted to come out. Hey, Jennifer, if you're watching, Treasure Island. Treasure Island. Okay. You know what? This fits very nicely with the Neptunian energy. Your imagination at this time can bring you treasure. Your imagination is a very fertile at this time, as long as you don't get swept away by it. And you know what? With the Queen of Cups, she is the queen, after all. She is in control. She is in control. The trouble is, there's another queen over here who's also in control, who wants to move ahead. And so again, it's a juggling act between the two. She's full of desire, and I'm not saying that this one isn't, but she's like, slow down and, you know, meditate and be one with everything. These oracle cards are great, though, I think. So we have the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. And again, we have the solstice coming up on the 22nd of December, depending on where you are. And then we have Treasure Island. So you're floating in the ocean with Neptune and Pisces, and you stumble upon an island. And maybe that's the King of Pentacles, where you're grounded onto something and you find a treasure. There's something in your imagination that's going to bear fruit. And again, I wouldn't rush it, even though you're going to feel like it, because we got so much this, you know, rushing wand energy with the Sagittarius energy, because I believe Mars is there also. And again, I could be wrong. I should have looked, but I think it is. So let yourself desire, slow down. Look, we got hearts and stars. You can't beat that, right? Okay, looks like an interesting reading. I just wanted to see about the balance, because these are kind of, you know, a little bit opposite energies, but not totally opposite. They do have some similarities, as I said. So go with the flow, be open to giving and receiving, and try to balance the imagination with the action and the desire. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and I will talk to you later. Blessings. Good night.